Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. Hope you guys enjoyed that break, enjoyed that brutal OST. Hope you all had some time to drain your disruptors, hydrate your hydras, and massage all of your marines, because we are back with something a little bit different, something a little bit special. Every now and then we accumulate replays. We accumulate replays from the community, by the community, for the community, the people in the chat. We do have a point redemption process in the chat. If you have enough points, I think it's like 10,000 points or something, then you can redeem replays, and we will of course cast them to our best ability. Usually we're not as harsh when it comes to casting these replays. Of course, a lot of the people that do submit them are not necessarily GM, or they're not necessarily pro players. Fun fact though, we do actually have some pro players that redeem replays. So we have 3 matches here tonight. One of them is submitted by Frost. Frost, of course, is a supporter of the channel for a very long time. Every now and then she does end up submitting some of these replays to us, and we are more than willing to host them. We also have replays submitted by Demi, of course, the Indian Zerg player, best player in all of India. Let's go. And we also have a replay submitted by Oreo as well, best Zerg player in all of Australia. And of course, one of the Cranky Ducklings. No bias whatsoever. So, honestly, the quality of play that we'll be featuring here in these viewer replays is going to be quite high, higher than normal. Like, normally we have, you know, some of our more, like, lesser player, like diamond players, or platinum players, or gold players. But here, it's going to be about the masters and the pro players instead. And we have our first game. As you can see on the screens here, it's going to be a game between Frost and Slammer. Now, all of these games are ladder games. They are all ladder games where they face off against each other. If you're unfamiliar with Slammer, Slammer is a streamer. He's an Australian Zerg player, and he is a bit of a character. If you haven't tuned into his stream before, he always refers to himself in a third person, and he has like this kind of narrative, this kind of like role playing that he does, and he talks himself up a lot. It's I mean, it's fun. It's fun. I've actually played him on the ladder before as well. We had a close series, what I will say. But yeah, we'll see how Frost does face off against him as we're loading into our game. It's gonna be on post youth. Oh boy, let's go. As spawning in the bottom left-hand corner. Oh, there he is! In the bottom left-hand corner, we have a red Zerg player giving us his intro. He is online. What is he? He is Slammer. Fake Slammer confirmed. And spawning in the right-hand corner, we have one of our lovely viewers in the chat. We have the blue Terran player. Representing Clan Donkey, it is Frost. You doubt the Slammer, you get the hammer. Oh, let's go. Oh, no, no. Oh, no. The banter has begun. But yes, if you mess with the Slammer, you get the hammer. That's usually how it goes. Again, he like Slammer. Again, he's a bit of a character. He's very active in the chat, and that's how he talks. Good stuff. As it's a gas pool. Okay, to kick things off, a very aggressive build. Gonna be a gas pool opener. Now, I'll be honest. I don't really watch much of Slammer. I don't really know what his playstyle is or his tendencies are. I don't really know what he favors. But this is quite an aggressive build. This could be a link flood into a Bane Bust. This could be a Roach Rush. We could be rushing into a fast lair. There's a lot of builds available. A lot of different paths that we can kind of walk down here for Slammer. I'm curious where we're headed, as we have enough gas for link speed. Meanwhile, across the map, it's going to be a CC first build here from Frost. Very greedy, but you can get away with this greed on this map. Going to be CC first into a 2 racks follow-up. This could be CC first into 3 CC into 3 racks. I'm curious where Frost is going with this. Which is going to be 2 racks into 3 or into a 3rd CC. Meanwhile, Slammer is going to link speed. Now, link speed was delayed by a couple of seconds, but it is on the way, and we have not pulled out of gas. That is what it is. That is what is important. We have not pulled out of gas. This can lead into a Bane Bust or a Roach Rush or again a fast lair. I'm leaning along the lines of a Bane Bust. We will soon have enough minerals for it, and there we go. We have enough for a Baneling Nest. We have not thrown one down. Interesting. So, no Bane Bust here from Slammer. We're still building up that gas. What are we spending it on? The SCV is soon going to be zoned away by the Queen. We might be waiting for the for the Queen to pop out and then go for a lair. SCV is going to be hunted down. And it is going to be... Oh, wait, my apologies. We're going for a proxy hatch across the map, and we're going for a gas deal as well? Okay. We're going for a proxy hatchery here to reinforce. I'm still uncertain as to what this gas is being spent on. There we go. There's the lair that we spoke about. So the lair is on the way. Again, I'm pretty sure we're just waiting for the SCV to be killed before we start the lair. Now, with this lair, we can go for Dropalords. If the Overlord moves in, we can try to Dropalord into the main base. That would be an interesting variation of all-in. Bunker is on the way here on the right-hand side. You have a factory production as well. We're working towards the rest of our bio setup. Past Tech Lab. Marines are on the way, soon to be Sim, I imagine, as well. But I'm leaning along the lines of Dropalords for now. But there is another gas on the way. This second gas... There's no shot we can't go into a one-base muta from here. No shot. Queen is welding across the map. We're flooding Lings as we speak. Lair is soon about to finish. Yeah, with the Overlord getting in position, the Overlord is very intentional. It's got to be Dropalords. It has to be. But we don't even have that many Lings. How many Lings do we have? 4. Like, what are we dropping? Like, what? And we have a lot of gas. Okay, now we see why. With all this gas... Infestation Pit is on the way. Interesting. Infestation Pit. Not Dropalords with this Swarm Host, I guess. I guess our goal is to get Swarm Hosts outside of the natural and mass Swarm Host. Like, that would make more sense than rushing into Hive, for example, right? We're spreading creep with the Overlord. Oh, God. Meanwhile, Frost is going for a 2-1-1. We're going for a 2-1-1 setup here, working towards, I imagine, an add-on swap here for the starport. Honestly, I really like 2-1-1 in this situation, right? It's like we can be very active on the map soon, momentarily, with Masted Marines. Swarm hosts are in production, as we mentioned. After this first Locust wave, this position is so vulnerable, though. Like, there's no roaches, there's only 2 queens, a handful of lings. I feel like we can break this. With our sim timing, I mean. We'll see. We'll see what we get done with these initial Swarm Hosts. Ooh, 6 Swarm Hosts in production. 3rd Queen has arrived. This position is becoming a little bit more defendable. A little bit more fortified. We're spreading creep up into the main. Let's go. Oh my god. We pooped creep with the Overlord. Oh my god. The plays. Creep into the main base. Swarm Host Locust Wave into that mineral line as well. We do manage to get a couple of SCVs. It's going to be 1, going to be 2. 2 SCVs go down, good reaction out of Frost. 3rd SCV does fall. We do clean up that Locust Wave. We can head towards the natural, but here comes the 2nd wave. But again, it just melts before the might of these thin Marines. Man with gun a little bit too good, and we can chase this down. Again, like, there's only 1 Locust Wave available. There's 3 Queens. There's only a handful of Lings. We can fight this. For now, Frost being a little bit more conservative here, just being a little bit more tentative with how we do push out. Maybe waiting for the next wave. Building up more Marines. Oh, and Slammer is amassing more of an army. We have 14 more Lings in production. That vulnerability that Slammer once had is not quite there anymore as we're diving onto combat shields. We're not going to get it. Good start of stepping here from Frost. Combat shields are saved. That was half a Locust Wave. We have another half available. I'm not sure if I'm fond of, like, staggering Locust Waves like this. As the army sims on forward, the Ling's going to be pushing on forward as well. But no Baylings. These are 0-0 Lings. Infestors on the way. That is interesting. But before we can get into those Infestors, we're going to have 1 Fungal available. It's going to be close. Infestors are on the way. We do pull back. Frost has to be so careful of this again. Has no idea that a Fungal is soon going to be available. And they come out. And there's the Fungal. Does connect. Big Fungal here in the Marines. Locust Wave comes in. And the Infestors did survive. The tank gets shut down. A decent engage here from Slammer. Did cost him 2 Fungals. And it's going to take quite some time for these Infestors to be active once again. Did cost him all the Lings. And we're still 1 base all in. As I say that, though, we are now expanding, taking that natural. Locust Wave slipping into the main. Marines still amassing. A bit of an awkward rally here as, yeah, the Marines are going to pull back, thankfully, safely. Still committing to bio tank. Which, again, I'm not opposed to. At a certain point, I would also not be opposed to even dropping across the map. Like, what is really worrisome about this playstyle from Slammer is that, yes, sure, he gets across the map quite quickly with these Swarm Hosts, that's true, But unlike how you would be in the mid game with a Nidustorm, is that there's no way back home. Like, Nidustorms allow you to basically recall back home with your Locust Waves and with your army in general and defend. That's not available here. If there was a drop across the map, if there was any kind of harass, then Slammer would be in a lot of trouble. For now though, we're just sending another wave into the natural. We are going for the tank. We shouldn't get it. Yeah, tank does survive. How many Stormers do we have? 7. Only 7. Slammer staying on a pretty low Stormers count here. I mean, we have Larva. We're going into a hive? What for? What? What's the hive? I feel like we could achieve a little bit more if we had more Swarm hosts here, but no, we're going into a hive for, I imagine, Vipers? That's going to be an interesting composition here that I'm not fully in love with. Speaking of drop play, Frost moving out with a double drop, but it looks like he's clearing up some Overlords. Well, looks like she's clearing up some Overlords, my bad. Setting up turrets. Okay, we're going to be pulling back. Save comes in. We do manage to get a tank. Good pick up. Good pick up here from Slammer. Save coming in. Again, I'm still perplexed as to the purpose of this hive. Like, it should be... Like, Vipers would make the most sense. But Slammer doesn't always make sense. So, I don't know. Mining on 2 bases. Hive is now done. Frost moving out with the drop. I'm liking the fan outs of Lings that we have here for Slammer. Is going to be able to catch this. And we're going for Ultras? 0-0 Ultras? Papi, what's going on here? As the Infestor does take a tank shot to the face. Locust Wave doesn't really get much done. Gets a Marine. 0-0 Ultras. That's something. Let me tell you. That's a unit, I guess. It is only going to be a singular Marine drop, and it looks like Slammer does have some Lings back at him to defend, so we are set up for this. I mean, again, Slammer saw the move out with these Lings, so is in position. Very well done here by Slammer. If this was a double Marine drop, it'd be a bit of a different story, but regardless, we'll see if Frost can get some damage done. More Lings racing back home. Looks like Slammer realizes how vulnerable he is. As Frost back at home is going for a Ghost Academy. Still on 2 bases. Should be expanding soon, though. Tara doing a great job at just tanking those Locust hits. But we will need to take a third soon. I mean, I say take a third. This army is looking pretty terrifying. Oh no! No, the medevac! Frost! Oh god, as we walk through the Queens and the medevac is going to be focused on. Barely does get focused on as well. Ay, ay, ay. Not like this. It's a rough movement there with the medevac. Again, I guess we're done with Swarmers at this point. We're going into Ultras. But again, like, there's no Evo Chamber upgrades. There's no Kindness Plating. You would at least think that we would prioritize Kindness Plating here, but there we go. Now Kindness Plating is on the way after we make two Ultras. Yeah. I'm not in love with the Ultra choice. I mean, on the one hand, sure, they may not have upgrades, but we have Infestors. We have Fungal Growth, so we can lock units down for the Ultras. They're good supportive units, true. That will help. But no melee upgrades either here. Against the 1-1, soon to be 2-2. I mean, I say soon to be 2-2. There's no armory, unfortunately, so there's no 2-2 available. But as long as we're ahead of upgrades compared to the Zerg player, I mean, it's still okay. Liberator's moving out. I mean, honestly, we can try to bully this with Libs, like the army, I mean. Instead, we're going to be harassing across the map. Spores are on the way. Again, the Liberators were spotted by the army, so we have a big reaction here from Slammer. Getting into a bunch of Spores. I mean, this is still inadvertent damage, right? Forcing drones to be killed or morphed into buildings. A lot of spent resources. Liberators do siege. Spores not quite in position. Drones are going down. And drones are falling. It's going to be 4 worker kills on the right-hand side. None quite on the left. But Slammer's on such a low economy. 25 drones. It's barely anything. What I will say is that thankfully for Slammer, it does have a very efficient army with these Locust waves. Like, we're not spending any resources by throwing away these Locusts. Oh, we didn't quite get anything here either. Things moving forward. Ultras are revealed. We've already got Ghost Live. Like, we already have an ideal army against Ultras. Even Ultras with upgrades, let alone without. Kindness plating is done at least, so that will help. This choke point is brutal. It's kind of working against Frost here. So yeah, we're mining through. As we do need to be able to break free from our contain. And eventually Frost should be able to break free. And I'm a little bit surprised that Slammer has yet to expand. I mean, like, we have gold bases. I feel like if you're in this position, you would rush into your opposing enemy gold and rush into your own as well. Like, Slammer has had so much map control for so long, there's no reason not to have taken this gold and this one here as well, and we would have been in a good position. We would have been maxed out, to be honest. It's like, this game has gone on for quite some time. And Frost hasn't really been too active outside of 2 Liberators and 1 Marine drop. So we totally could have gotten away with some expansions. But Slammer, you know, it's, yeah, oh, what do we got? Opponent in the Slammer candle is, Slammer's coping. I don't, like, Slammer's not in a good position. This is not the time to speak. I don't, this is, aye. Not really in the Slammer. Oh, no. I mean, outside of a good fungal, right? Like, a good fungal growth could spell the end of Frost. Oh, speaking of, very nice fungals. Oh, the chain fungals are real and a massive chunk of Marines go down. Aye. Well, that'll do it. that'll do it, Papi. Jesus, that was a good, what, 30 Marines going down, if not more than that? Frost still has the edge. Now, what's important here is that was only Marine, right? The Liberators is one that's going to go down. Most Libs survived, Tanks survived, Ghost survived, Marauders as well. We're going for Microbial Shroud. Oh, let's go. Infestors are coming in. Oh, big fungal in the army. A chain fungal as well. Second fungal does connect. Most Ghosts survive. And here come the snipes. Yeah, massive snipes going to be going off, and every Ultra goes down. And just like that, Slammer's army melts. And what do we have left? We have 2 Ultras and Swarm Hosts. That's all we have remaining. Swarm Hosts, they do nothing here. Not with such a small amount. Like, this is the thing with Swarm Hosts, is you need a critical mass of them to actually have Locust Wave do damage. And down go the Ultras. Down go the Swarm Hosts. Ooh, the snipes are brutal. And behind the Slammer finally takes the goal, but it's too little too late. Like, again, there's no excuse. These goal bases should have been taken sooner. They should have been taken earlier. Slammer hit by his own hammer. Oh no. I was trying to come up with something else that rhymes with hammer. I didn't. My brain isn't there right now. And yeah, now with this, Frost is moving out and going for the death march at this point. There's nothing left for Slammer. I'm sure we have 6 Swarm Hosts. What are they really doing? We don't really have any mining going on either for Frost, which is a little bit concerning. It's going to be difficult to expand, but there's nothing that we're really pushing into. Sure, there's 6 Ultras on the way, but what are they really going to do against all these Ghosts, against all these tanks, against the Liberators as well? Liberators did just unsiege, which is concerning, but there we go. The Freedom has returned. We have plenty in the air. And we just don't care. The snipes here on the Ultras. Yeah, they're going to be shut down. And Slammer needs bigger hammer. I knew it was the size of them. Those are a problem there for Slammer. But GG gets called, and Frost will take the game. GG. Well played, Papi. Well played. Let's go. Slammer, here's a fun stream. He's a clown. But it's, you know, it's sometimes it's fun watching clowns. It's fine. It's fine. Esther Slammer, shaking my head. Slammer has biggest hammer. Clearly not. Clearly not. Aye, aye, aye. But GG, well played. Again, shout out to Frost, by the way. You know, a cool, calm, and collected head. I do think that we could have been a little more active. I mean, we pointed it out at the time, right? Where there was a timing, there was a window where she had her double medevac drop, her stim timing. Could have been a little bit more active. Could have punished the first Locust Wave. That was the moment. It was the first Locust Wave that fell in its face. After that, there were, what, like 4 Lings? There were very few Lings. There were 3 Queens on the low ground. The 16 Marine stim push could have definitely punished that a little bit harder, and the game probably would have ended a little bit faster as well. But outside of that, you know, we handled ourselves well. The Locust Waves didn't really do much anyway. They crashed in and they took down like a Marine at a time, maybe a turret. I think they killed 1 tank at one point, but that was really it. The Storm Hosts were lackluster, and yeah, I was never really fond of the Ultra switch there. I would have been a bigger fan of it if there was an economy, but if you remember, even before Slammer had even lost too many drones, Slammer was only on 25 workers. Like, very low economy, very low eco game from Slammer. And I just bring that up just because, like, there was no need for it to be a low eco game. Like, Slammer with so much map control, like, what's the point? Like, whether it's Slammer, whether it's, like, Golden used to do this as well, right? Like, if you're putting a player in jail, if you're locking them and if you're containing them into 2 bases, take advantage of it, right? Like, do something with it, you know? Don't just tech, but expand and take the map and get up to 80 drones and max out. Like, there's so much you can do with that position. Nothing was really done. So, yeah, GG. 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 Well played. Ah. And with that, we're getting ready for our next game. Again, we have 3 games altogether here. We have 3 submitted replays, and now we're getting into our second replay of the night. We're going to be diving into Demi versus... Hold on. A barcode. I don't know who the barcode is. Wait, did Demi tell me? Let me just double check. Sometimes Demi lets me know if he's playing against like Haas or someone like that.